No more buckets. Ain't gonna be using buckets to grind feed anymore. I bought this the other day. This is a dump attachment for my burr mill. It's a Needler built and made to go right on my mill. It'll bolt right on. And this piece here flips. It's made it flips over, and I already have this piece, and this right here is already on the mill. So I just got to take this stuff off in the gearbox there, and it drives through the center shaft that goes through the mill. And then it hooks on. It's got a sprocket goes on the end there, or the sprocket is on there. It's a detached clutch, and it hooks onto there, and it runs the. You can see it's got paddles, and it runs up and dumps in the mill there. It's probably originally made for ear corn, but it'll work for shell corn too. I was pretty excited to find it, or I didn't find it. My uncle was driving along and seen a guy had a complete Needler burr mill with one of these attachments on it sitting alongside the road for sale. And so I called around a local dealer up where I got this, and got the guy's number and called him, and I went up and looked at it. And he had two Needler mills. One of them was set up like mine, where it was complete, but you would have had to use buckets or something or another system to load it. And then he had the one out by the road that was had the dump attachment. This one was he bought the one mill that didn't have the drag on it, I guess is what they called it, drag attachment on it, and it came with this, but it just wasn't assembled. And then shortly after he bought that one, he went and found this other one that already was assembled, so he went and bought it and never did use the other mill. He was wanting $1,000 for both of them and all the parts and everything, but I didn't really want to spend $1,000, so I went up there and talked to him a little bit and whatnot, and haggled around, and ended up selling me just a pile of parts at the dump attachment for $100. So I was real happy with that. And turns out the guy that is going to buy the other, he said if I didn't take the two mills, he had a guy who was going to buy them. And it turns out it's the guy who bought out the Needler company when they went out of business, and he will rebuild them and turn around and sell them then. So they're going to get turned around, rebuilt, and sold and whatnot, going to good homes anyway. I think if I had there's another gearbox there, and there's some extra parts and whatnot in the bucket here, and there's these cast iron pieces that go on top of the burrs down in the mill, and more mounting plates. I think if I just had the drag, I would actually have enough pieces to put together two mills with the drag set up, because it's got the gearbox and whatnot on it. Like I said, this thing flips over, and this piece is already on the mill that I have, and it goes down in the mill, or is what this piece bolts to. I don't know why they have so many extra pieces, but and they sent me 5 extra sets of inner burrs. Some of them are getting pretty wore out. Some of them ain't too bad. Need to be resharpened. He said for some reason it would always break the outer burr if they were using it, so I kept buying sets of burrs, I guess, and just accumulated the inner burr. But very thankful to find this. This will be nice to have. This is the end that goes down on the ground. I think that's on there to hook up. It's made like if you're loading out of a corn crib or something, you'd hook that up to the drag that's running it out, and they'd run it into here and run it up into the mill. So that's kind of how that works. But you can see it's just got paddles there and just a flat chain. These are the supports that go underneath it to hook it to the mill, or help hold it on the mill. But yeah, about it. Real excited to get this. I'm not going to be using buckets. I can just hook it up and walk away from it for a little bit while it's grinding and come back to it, and it'll sure be nice to have. Make a nice, real nice mill out of it. And while we're standing here, I'll mention the skid steer. I get a lot of comments asking about it. Still sitting right where I parked it last summer. I just haven't ever had time to mess with it. I've been working on it, you know, either working on planters or something, or working in the field, or working on other people's stuff, you know, that I get, you know, I just charge an hourly rate, and so I get paid for right away. And then this needs, you know, a week or two worth of work before it'd be ready to sell. I'm going to go ahead and sell it. I got, you know, backhoe if I need to clean stuff out, and I'd rather have the money out of it than, if it was a little bigger and a diesel, I might consider keeping it, but I'd probably just sell the thing, because I mean, we got several loaders on the farm, and so I don't really need a skid steer, and it's not like I got to get in tight places or anything. But anyway, well, I think I'll about do it here, and I'll have a video assembling it all in the mill. When I get to that, I got to grind feed within probably a month again, and so I'll have it on by then. I don't think it'll take much to get going. Spray the chain down with some WD-40 and let it soak for a little bit, and pretty much just bolt it together. I did get a 6th calf, and I'll show it again. A beef. Yeah, he's a short, fat little dude. He's that one right there, weighed 475 pounds. Little steer. But yeah, you guys are ready to be fed, aren't you? But you can see he's got quite a belly on him. He's quite a bit shorter than the other ones, but got a decent price at the sale barn and whatnot. I got rid of the other calf. His ankle wasn't getting any better, and I had people buy the meat, so I took him into the locker a week and a half ago. But he's really docile. I don't think he'll ever get out. As long as you got food in front of him, he's never gonna go but about 10 feet from the food. So, but anyway, I think that'll do it. So thanks for watching.